Hi. Our project is gardening, how gardens can change and affect school. And I'm Andrea Munoz, Victoria Hernandez, and Hoyonki.
So our global issue is global warming, and our essential question was how can building a school garden inspire students to take action for the planet? And we did this project because we see how global warming is affecting the world, and just a small action like building a garden in our school can start something bigger. Why this issue is important? Well, there's many reasons, but some ways that it can help building a school garden is with education, because kids can see how things change and they can see how plants can grow and it's there and they can see and learn. Nutrition, because it teaches them about good nutrition and knowing where your food comes from, which is right there in your school, as well as ecology, because you can learn to compost and just build vegetables and fruits.
What's our project about? Our project was to build some gardens in our school because and promote it to many other schools because in many schools they don't have gardens or they don't even teach or care about ecology and many other things. So what we first did, we were in a team together, we were with other students but they couldn't come. So we decided to be together, and this originally was my project, but they came with me. And when we started doing it, we faced some problems because when we made the box, when some maintenance in school made it for us, they gave the wrong measures and they took a month to do it. So it was kind of long, but we did it.
So raise your hand if you have school gardens at your school. So many of you have that. So our goals were our main goal is gonna be to donate our crops to our cafeteria, but they still haven't grown yet. So we're gonna try to donate them. Our second goal is to reduce non-fresh vegetable use, because some people don't even know that what they're consuming is not fresh, or and we want to eat fresh stuff. And our third goal was to help the environment, because if you think about it, maybe if you eat imported food, think about all the distance it has to cross to get to your house, to your plate. So we want to reduce that. So we have 3 examples of gardens you can build at your school. And the first one is a vertical garden. This garden is for schools with not a lot of space, because they take up really not much space, and they're you can put them on walls, or even
Yeah, maybe you could put those if your hallway has sunlight, maybe you can put it there because some schools don't have a lot of space, they don't have a big garden or something like that to put in. So these are the types that if you would like to do it, you can do this type so you have space and it's better.
Are they built just out of pallets? Were they just built out of pallets?
Yeah, the ones on the example were. Another idea is that they build online containers, and this is also for a school that doesn't have that much space, because you build these little boxes and you can take them to different places, so you can move them around, and it doesn't have to be that big or just either you can make it.
And some schools that like to recycle and do things, they do it from plastic bottles. They just cut them in half and start building things in the bottle.
The last garden example are raised gardens. We have these at our schools, at our school, and these are the ones that are used with schools, larger schools. This school could have a lot of raised gardens because it's really big. So if your school is really big and you have a lot of green spaces, you could to raise funds. It's a quick video about.
It's a quick video because we're going to give you some papers that do it, and this will give you like an idea.
The first point I'd like to make is increase of the solving some people. And I think that's what we do too well. We most often not solving the wrong problems. And then we wonder why change doesn't happen. So for me, empathy is slowing down a bit and being able to observe the patterns of behavior that are linked to an area that stirs you or causes you concern. And I think it's with that pause and it's the stepping back and observing patterns of behavior that you truly understand what might need to be the solution, not just solve the problem. Once you do that, and I call that step of faith, then you imagine. Imagine not without the person connected. I think it's a flow in imagining a solution and going and offering it to somebody rather than having them participate in the solution. So I think imagining is critical to having the people involved in the solution making. And then go and do it. So it's being imagined. And I think the most powerful part of everything comes when you share. I think it's the sharing of our solutions and these stories that inspire others to be equally impacted. So feel imagined to share this.
So I know that this video was really hard to hear because it didn't work. But basically what she's saying that by doing these steps, which is feel, imagine, do, and share, you can like solve a problem that is bothering you by doing simple steps, and that later can become into a big project that can really change something or someone.
So like,
Can you go to the first page?
yeah, this if you want to fill it, it's okay, but if you just want to share it yourself, it's okay. And
So we're gonna share opinions, ideas. So someone wants to share how much space you have at school for like art and something. No one?
My school is big and I have those things. The last one, that are the gardens, because I helped you do the project.
Let's go around and see, because no one's serving.
We have a pretty big garden at our school. It keeps getting bigger. So we started very small actually, and then the popularity of the program got bigger, and then we added a greenhouse. And now there's a whole other section by our primary school, because the primary school kids will garden now. So it's been getting bigger and bigger. If you have grass on your campus, you can just usually pretty easily take the grass out, bring in some soil, and make that into garden.
it's because many schools don't even talk about gardening and don't think it's important. I think.
It was with some interviews at school and we were asking like, why do you think art is important? And everyone was answering to make our house look pretty, to make our school look pretty, but like that's not really the main reason.
There was just one boy that said like something smart, because they were like, so it looked pretty, so animals can come and enjoy the garden.
You can have a butterfly garden actually, that can be fantastic to bring in pollinators, which is great beside your garden. So it's okay for it to look pretty too, but I agree it's probably not the most important thing.
Well, we don't have much space in ours, and I live on a desert island, so I'm trying to think of what we can do without consuming too many resources, because we have a small space of grass, but it's a premium because there's not grass on the island naturally, so it's actually a big thing for us to have that small patch of grass for the kids to play on, and so we have a few areas that we might be able to do the vertical gardens or the small movables that.
Rooftop gardens. Rooftop gardens, if you're living in a desert, can actually help to reduce the
Our roof
temperature.
is hopefully being converted to solar power soon, so.
Okay. New study though, out of the Bronx Design Academy in the US, that shows that if you can combine a green roof with solar panels, you actually increase the efficiency of the solar panels, because there's a maximum temperature that solar panels can get to before they decrease efficiency. So you have green roof, solar, you actually have both. It's a hybrid solution.
Well, in the school, it's divided in 3 campuses and they are not together. But in junior high school, it's really small and there's no sort of space. But in primary, well, elementary, there's a lot of space and there's a lot of plants. But in junior high, we have a green field as well.
So,
I'm at Carol Williams on my campus. We have a lot of space.
Do you guys have a garden
We have a
We have a
greenhouse.
greenhouse in middle school. It's
In middle school?
on the roof.
here? Do you guys use it in science?
Yeah, well, in middle school.
It's not in science.
yeah, 'cause here there's a lot of space of big garden, so. And do you already, well, yes, you have a school garden. And do you think you could improve it?
Yes. I believe it.
It can always be improved. It can always be improved.
And do you have any ideas of how could it be improved?
My personal goal, I think when people recognize the connection between food and where it comes from, it's very important. It's something we've lost. That used to be a daily connection to the environment every day. We understood where our food came from. And there's a disconnect now. I would love to see us, I'm working at the Cahuilla Roosevelt in Peru. Peruvian food is fabulous. We have a cordon bleu cooking school, it's the only one in South America, like 10 minutes away from school. We live 10 minutes away from the best agricultural university in the country. Why don't we have a partnership? I'd love for us to have I'd like for us to be making our own food. I think when you have food services on campus, you're giving your money away. Food services don't come to your campus to work for free, so you're essentially paying someone else to provide a service you could make money from for your school. So I'd like us to be growing our food, partnering with like food industry locally, providing internship opportunities for our students who want to pursue that path through their career, and be making it a little bit more systematic and holistic. So that's a big goal, but that's my dream.
And so there's a lot of questions, but we will change to the next paper.
But this is what we wanted. We wanted you to start thinking about like ideas that you want for your school.
Because these questions can keep you thinking like a little bit more and like you can create things with this question.
So, have you ever gardened before, anyone? Raise your hands. Yeah. Do you like gardening? Yes. So, do you learn about gardening at your school, or where did you learn how to do it? Or
In school, we have an ecology class. It's an extra class, and they teach us how to plant and garden, and also like a lot of mini programs.
So it's a class that you choose to take or
Like it's part of biology for in the year, but it's like many schools don't have that.
What school do you
And we're in school of Puebla.
Okay.
Puebla in Mexico.
Mixed.
So, do you eat organic food? Do you even know if your food is organic? That's a big problem.
I try.
No, not a lot of people know if what they're eating is even organic or not, so that's a really big problem. You want to like change that.
And what about your school gardens? It's exciting you. Like, do you even think it's interesting, or you just say like, oh, they teach us that, but I really don't care?
Well, I really like that class. Last year, like, I would love that the 3 years that we are in junior high, we have that class where we can.
And we would like to see like more gardening and like the gardens growing. Maybe many people like that class, maybe you can take it too.
So now we're on the third page and we're gonna like, now that you've learned about each other a little bit more, like,
So it was supposed to be like an apartment, but
we all shared it so you could all hear. But do any of you have like any ideas from any one that you would like to take back home to your school, or like new things that you learned that you would think it's interesting to tell your teacher or someone that could help you with the garden?
Well, I really like the idea of the roof gardens. Like, and that's a better way to have more gardens since like almost all the school is made of floor. There's just a little space of garden.
So now let's play a game. It's about the topic. So we're gonna see how much attention it takes to the project. So can you tell me from which country you are? We're gonna play the games. So ready? Do we have something else?
Peru?
Do we have something else?
Curacao. 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 CAO.
So now, we're gonna see who wins. So the first question. Do you remember, someone remembers the 3 types of gardens we showed you?
Number 1 is the vertical garden.
Someone else?
I don't know exactly what's one in recycled materials that you can use around the school.
That was with the raised bed gardens. We had small movable gardens.
Now, next question. Well, they're not real questions, but they're questions for you. What is the climate at your country, school? How's the climate? So, Mexico, you're losing. How's the climate in Mexico?
What's the climate like? Do you have a lot of rain?
Yeah, but
Sometimes?
Thank you.
US.
I'm actually from Europe, we're together. Just send them
You guys have a
from-
great climate.
From, not
You have a
from.
great climate for gardening though, 'cause you got lots of heat, you got lots of sun, you got lots of water.
I live in the desert.
Can you share what kind of gardens you have at your school?
We're lucky that we actually live where there's pretty fertile soil, because Lima is a coastal desert. We're actually in the part, our school happens to be the part that actually has the most fertile soil, so water's an issue. So water's a big problem.
And what's something that you garden, gardens, like do you even garden crops or something?
In the school, in ecology class, we plant a lot of vegetables like sometimes we plant potatoes and almost all the time we plant tomato.
Have you ever consumed like your crops?
And yes, what do you do with it?
So I really like to cook, so I have a garden in my house and like the plants we need in ecology class we plant on home. Like with tomatoes I made like Italian pasta. And with the potatoes I made, I don't remember exactly.
What's your name?
Daniel,
Danielle? Are you gonna be a chef?
I hope so.
I wanna remember you when you're a celebrity chef, because I remember that kid.
We haven't heard from. Do you want to say something? Or, like, Do you garden at your house?
No, I don't have like too much space.
You could try right
Basil grows really, really well in most places, basil, and you can make pesto from it. People are always impressed if you make pesto, but it's just basil, some kind of nuts, olive oil, a little salt. And if you want to throw some Parmesan cheese, you can. But it makes things better. You can make pesto pizza, pesto pasta. We used to do cooking lessons after harvest, and we actually had a lot of male gardeners. And a lot of them were grade 11 or grade 12, they were going to go away to university, and they didn't know how to cook. So teaching, like, if you grow a big squash, how to make like roast squash soup, or how to make pesto, and you can put it on pasta, they actually really, really like that. So it's fun to grow stuff, but then having a plan for what you're going to use it for is really good.
Who's that? Ah.
So what do you thought about this presentation?
It's because it's our first year.
How old are you guys? What grade?
So we're so green.
Seventh and eighth grade. Now, I understand you just planted your garden, is that right?
We already had some, but we're starting on another project.
So you planted, you harvested, and now you're replanting?
Yes, because first we planted and we wanted to see how it went.
Like an experiment?
It's like when we talked about this project with the director, the principal, he told us that it's okay, that like we can start with a little thing and maybe like we can take these projects to other schools, because like this school, your school, like gardens, many other like public schools or things like that don't teach them about gardening. So like maybe we can take that project to other schools so they can start doing it.
And one of our like main goals was to like tell you that gardens don't have to be in a green area. You can also have like a mini garden. Like we wanted to do a square foot garden, and it's a box where you put dirt in it and you plant things and you divide them. And it can be anywhere where it needs sunlight. So we were planning to put it in our classroom, in our science classroom, but
Okay, so first we wanted to put it in
the
an
green space.
area. Our teacher told us like if you want to teach, then you don't need a big space. You need to put it in the class because in the class we have sunlight and that all the things.
Also, we could inspire the kids to like see and like make them think, oh, gardens don't have to be in green areas, they can be anywhere.
There's
So
a really, really good program called ANIA, A-N-I-A, and it's actually from an Ashoka Fellow. So you showed a video from the lady that was an Ashoka Fellow. The name of the director of the program is Joaquin Medina, it's Peruvian, and it's exactly what you're talking about. It's making sure a kid anywhere, like in the poorest place, in the richest place, wherever you are, how dry it is, how wet it is, anyone can grow something. And that process of taking care of something and growing it is so important. And that's his goal, to get as many kids in as many places, just going through the process of caring for life. It could be a little plant on your windowsill. You know what I mean? But just starting that process. So it's a really good resource. It's got a lot of stuff. But Anya, A-N-I-A.
So congratulations, guys.
There's